Page 607, number 16. All right, get this at the top of the screen. Let's see if we can recreate the picture first. Well, in the diagram it says triangle NPQ is similar to triangle NLM. Of course, this is important. We can tell a lot from just this statement that N is equal to N, P is equal to L, and Q is equal to M, the angles. And then the sides are in proportion. We also know that PL equals 5. They don't give us that not expecting us to use it. They want us to use that information, which we will. All right, so now let's see if we can recreate the picture a little bit. Close enough. All right, we got 60. We got 3.2 down here. We got Y here. This is N. Got 4. And then what is that? 3x plus 18. And since it has a degree symbol, that means we know that it's the angle. Okay, we got Q here. P, N, M is up here, and then L is down here. Okay, so we got everything recreated. Let's take a look at part A. They want us to find the value of x. Okay, so find the value of x. And looking at this picture, then we need to know, is this the only value of x that they give us? I mean, like, is there another place that we would have to look at? There's not. That's it, right? So that's an angle measure for angle L. All right, well, if I look at the similarity statement, L is right here in the middle. That means it's equal to, I can conclude that it's equal to P. The measure of angle P is equal to the measure of angle L. Everyone should see that. That should not be difficult because they're in the same position. This is one of those examples. I don't think that's very clear looking at the diagram. Okay? You have to look at the similarity statement. So there's the statement, P is equal to L. Now let's do a substitution. What's the measure of angle P? 60 degrees. What's the measure of angle L? 3x plus 18. And now we've got an algebra 1 problem. Let's just solve for x. We'll subtract 18 from both sides. Now we've got 42 is equal to 3x. And then we're going to divide by 3. And we got 14 then is equal to x. And I think that's all they wanted. Want us to solve for x, right? 14 equals x. Lily, questions? Anybody? You can get it. Yeah.
So if L is equal to P, does that mean Q is equal to M?
It sure does, because look where Q is. Q's there and M is here. That means they're in the third spot. So Q does equal M. It doesn't help us for anything here, but that is a true statement. Rebecca, got it? All right, let's take a look at B. I think we got room down here. We'll take a look at B. Now, B, I think, is much more difficult. They want us to find the length of NP and NL. Okay, well, I'm going to recreate NP and NL out here. So I'm kind of pulling it out. Pulling it out with the sound effects. There's N, there's P, and there's L. Okay, Juanita, what's the length of NP? Look at the diagram. What's the length of NP? I don't want a number. I want a letter. Why? Okay. Tough question then. What's the length of NL? It's not X. It's not 14. No. Okay, so watch. What's the length of PL? Remember this? Given in the problem. It's 5, right? So the entire thing. Can too. If the entire thing is 5, and this is y, excellent, is 5 minus y. So the distance from N to L is 5 minus y. Can you see that? Now we need that because they want us to find the length of NP and NL, so we better know. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to set up a proportion. Okay, NP is the first two letters, so we know in a proportion it is compared to NL. NP is to NL. We also know that PQ is to LM. We also know that NQ is to NM. Any arguments with what I just did? All that is a proportion statement. Everyone okay? Pause. Everyone okay? Nod your head if you're not. Okay, so now we got to make a decision though, because carefully, do they give us anything about PQ or LM? Look at the diagram. Is there any lengths or anything about them? Is there any information at all about PQ? No, there's not. So watch this. If I had an eraser, I would just erase it. I'm just going to mark it out. We don't need that. Does that make sense? So I'm going to eliminate that from my proportion. So my proportion now becomes NP is to NL. Can you see that still on the screen? Yeah. As NQ is to NM. Do you see why I did that, Croffy? Because we don't have any information for that, but we do for NQ and NM. Now it's a big substitution problem. Rebecca, what's the length of NP again? Because I asked you. No, I'm just teasing. You're right. It's what? Croffy, what's the length of NL again? 5 minus y. Naomi, what's the length of NQ according to the diagram? 3.2. Naomi, what's the length of NM according to the diagram? NM. 4. It'll make it harder than it is. So now we have a proportion. Want to see how I generated the proportion? Now we got to solve the proportion. I'm going to move this up because I don't think we need the diagram anymore. Okay, moving up. All right, now, how do we solve the diagram, Lily? Cross multiply. Y times 4 is 4y. Set that equal to 3.2 times the quantity of 5 minus y. Let's distribute, Tiana, the 3.2. What's 3.2 times 5, Tiana? What's 3.2 times 5? 16. 3.2 times y is 3.2y. Just like a coefficient in front of the variable. Now I get the y's on the same side, and I have 7.2y equals 16. Because I added 3.2. Got that, Bo? Now I divide by 7.2. And so y is equal to 16 over 7.2. We don't like decimals. Blech. So we're going to get rid of the decimal by multiplying by 10 and reducing. Whatever I do to the bottom, I got to do to the top. And so I have 160 over 72. Divide both of them by an even number of 8. And so y then is equal to 20 over 9. I know you don't like fractions. Then you could give me a decimal. I would accept it, Lily. I know we're not done. That's just why. That's actually just NP, right? That's what they wanted. They wanted NP. Now we also got to find NL. So we know that this is NP. Now we got to find NL. Rebecca, once again, what is the length of NL? Okay, so I'm not going to say y now. What am I going to say? 5 minus what? is pretty good geometry, student. He's exactly right. 20 over 9. Now I got to get a common denominator. I'm sticking with the fractions. Multiply by 9, 45 over 9 minus 20 over 9. And we end up with 25 over 9, and that is NL. Answer number 2. I know you don't like fractions, but don't let that mess with your head on number 16. Can you do everything we just did? Can you set the angles equal to each other? Can you then create a proportion in order to solve and find what they've got? That's a good problem. I know my definition of good might be different than yours. But I like that problem. Tiana, you said you did it differently. Did you still get the correct answer? Okay, then don't do it your way. Do it my way. All right. Everyone got it? Okay, if you didn't get this submitted, now get it submitted on Canvas with the correct answer on number 16. If you're not done up until this point, then do the rest of those problems and get it submitted during this class period. Got it? That's it. That's all we're doing today.